Karnataka Congress staged a protest at all district headquarters and at Freedom Park in Bengaluru against the BJP-led central government for allegedly refusing to provide rice to the state. The protest in Bengaluru was led by Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee President D.K. Shivkumar. D.K. Shivkumar accused the centre of not giving sufficient rice to the state despite claiming to do so. The Congress accused the centre for stopping the Food Corporation of India from supplying rice to the state, which was meant to be distributed to below poverty line card holders under the Anna Bhagya scheme. Meanwhile, BJP leaders staged a protest against the Congress-led government in the state for cheating people by denying them 10 kg of rice. The question is, of course, going to be asked as to what can be done. What is the solution to end this war and, of course, to feed people? Joining us to talk more about this is Mr. K.C. Sharma, BJP spokesperson. Advocate Gyanendra Sharma, political analyst, also with us on the broadcast. Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, with us on the show as well. Thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. Rajalakshmi, I'll begin with you. Well, what motive could the central government have in basically denying giving rice to the people in this Anna Yojana? And how do you think that the Congress is perhaps taking this opportunity and twisting it in a way that obviously reeks of political vendetta?
Good afternoon, Vineet. I'd like to put across 3 points in this. The very first being that this change in the decision by the FCI, this has not happened now, but it has happened before the elections itself. And it was very clear before the elections itself that the rates are not going to be the same, and also there is a problem of availability. Now, the second thing is that the FCI has denied giving the rice to the Karnataka state government. And it's not the decision of the central government. And the third thing is that the Congress wanted to piggyback on the scheme of the central government, in which they were giving 5 kilos of rice to all the underprivileged right from October 2020. And this has been going on. And all the MPs have been making sure that this has reached all the poor people, and that is how underprivileged have not had a really difficult situation in terms of the food problem. And now the Congress should have actually provided for an additional of 10 kilos. What they had promised was not that they are going to give the same thing that the central government is giving them. So they are kind of trying to piggyback on what the central government has been doing. This is something that they are trying to mislead actually, by saying that the central government has denied them rice at whatever rate that they are asking for. And, I tend to think of one thing, that whenever you have some kind of an agreement or whenever you make a promise, you have to put the terms and conditions very clearly. If they were making their calculation based on what the central government is giving them, then they should have put it across as to this is what it's going to be, based on what the central government is giving us. That is exactly what the Aam Aadmi Party also has been doing. They have also been promising on the basis of what the central government is giving. They are completely dependent on the central government funds and the provisions of the central government. And the same schemes they run and they provide in some other way. And they put it across as if they are doing some big favor to everybody. I don't think that they should continue to give these kind of freebies and without any thought given to what calculations they have. Now you see in Himachal Pradesh, in Rajasthan, they spoke about the OPS and then they have not been able to deliver. They spoke about a lot of freebies, they have not been able to deliver because it was not financially feasible for them. Even in Karnataka, it is rationally, if you think about it, it's not financially feasible. But they were piggybacking on some other schemes, and also they were completely dependent on the central government. Now, this here is not what the central government is doing, but it is a FCI, and they have very categorically stated that they don't have the supply that the Karnataka state government is looking for. So the Karnataka state government can go into the open market and they should be buying the rice and they should be giving it to the people just as they had promised. They cannot go by the conditions and they cannot go by what the central government is giving them. That is completely not fair, Vineet. This is what I feel about it.
Government is trying now to impede this process by stopping the rice supply to the state, including the state of Karnataka. Obviously, the BJP is little jittery over and is still not able to, digest the defeat that they have faced in Karnataka. And therefore, this is one of the attempt, the way I look at it, to put obstacle on the part of the state governments, to fulfill its promises that which they are duty bound towards the people of Karnataka.
They were not having any roadmap, neither they have any plan now. They just want to blame the Bharatiya Janata Party or central government because they know they cannot mobilize the resources, they cannot mobilize the required rice. So now what to do? Just blame the Modi government, blame the Bharatiya Janata Party and try to safeguard their face. It will not happen because you are just promising and everywhere you are failing. You are failing in, drastically you are failing in Himachal Pradesh where you are not even able to pay salary, basic salary to the employee. Same thing is happening in Karnataka. You promised something but you had no arrangement. Now you are interested to do the arrangements. It's a state duty. You arrange, you buy, you talk to other states where rice get produced. Even in they failed in Rajasthan, they failed in Himachal Pradesh, and now the same thing is happening in Karnataka.
Rajalakshmi, what do you think is the recourse here? Let's not forget, in my opening monologue, I also spoke about, the parties bickering with each other is one thing. What becomes of the people? They are not at fault for this paucity of rice in Karnataka.
Vineet, like I said earlier, nothing stops the Karnataka state government from buying it from the open market. They have been misleading the people by saying that they are giving this rice, but they did not mention that they are actually depending on the discounted rate of the FCI. Now the FCI, you cannot discount the fact that the FCI has not stopped this only from Karnataka. They have spoken about this shortage for all states and barring the northeastern states. So it's not like as if this was specially done for Karnataka just to stop Mr. Siddaramaiah or Mr. D.K. Shivkumar and it is some kind of a personal vendetta. It is nothing of that sort. It's just like they had not actually planned it properly. So even when it comes to the free electricity also, even when it comes to the free buses also, everything, the bus rides, everything, there are a whole lot of terms and conditions that have suddenly come in because they were bound to come. It's only that, like you normally have these terms and conditions mentioned in fine print. Whenever you have some great schemes, you have these terms and conditions. But now here they had not mentioned it at all. They had not spoken about who is going to get all these benefits and in what way. Look at how the electricity is being the rates are being raised. They had spoken about 200 free units of electricity and now suddenly they hike the prices. So this kind of a thing is nothing new. Whenever all these freebies are given, they always have been depending on something else, like these discounted rates of the central government, funds from the central government, and even now they're doing that. So the people should become smarter and they should understand that the people who have failed to provide all these things in Himachal Pradesh and in Rajasthan and even in Chhattisgarh, there are a lot of issues. So in all these places, if they have not been able to give the jobs like they had promised, if they have not been able to fulfill the promises of the OPS about the free, the doles that they were talking about, the 1,500 rupees per person, etc. So all those kind of things, if they were not done in other states, then there is a strong chance that even in Karnataka that might not happen. So then later the Congress blaming the BJP and the central government and saying that they are purposely doing this, I think that is a little unfair. So I think that even the central government should speak with the EC election commission and make sure that in all states wherever these elections are held, there should be some kind of a responsibility by the political parties about what they promise and what is the actual calculation on basis of which they are promising all of this. Because otherwise the people are taken for a ride, not the literal free ride that the Congress was speaking about, but they're taken for a ride and at the end of the day, it is the people who are losing. because they might have otherwise chosen somebody else on some other basis. And here they have neither got the other candidate who was probably more capable, and they went for the free doles, and then they ended up not having anything. So I think that the election commission also should take a very strict call as to on what basis these political parties are promising any of these freebies, and then hold them responsible for making sure that they fulfill these promises also. So this is something that is obviously going to affect the public at large, and I think that this is something that other states also, the people who are up for elections, I think they should also take note of all this, whatever is happening.
I agree, to the extent what Rajalakshmi stated, that as far as these freebies are concerned and making the freebies as the main political, plank for an election, need to be examined and scrutinized, but that is true for all political parties. This is the question which we all need to look at, that if the state government, any of the state government has promised certain things to its people, they should be allowed to fulfill that promise, and obviously they have to manage the finance for it and the budget for it. It is their responsibility, but the central government should act as an enabler, because as you rightly said, Vinith, the question is about the people, the common, the poor people, and this should not be suffered because of the partition politics.
All right, quickly, Rajalakshmi, you want to come in quickly?
Vineet, if any of these promises are made in consultation with the central government, then the central government can take responsibility and say that they will enable a certain thing to happen. Even now, the central government is not stopping the Karnataka state government from doing any of whatever it had promised. It is the Congress which failed to plan for any of the promises that they had made. And the central government is not responsible per se for any of the freebies. There is a difference between freebies and welfare programs. So welfare programs is something that the central government has always been doing, whether it comes about nutrition, about health, education, about the housing, about sanitation, all of this, the central government has been doing and undertaking welfare schemes. But there is a difference between welfare schemes and freebies. Among the freebies, I think it should have been consulted with the central government. If they are going to be dependent on the central government for anything, it should have been in consultation. Otherwise, the central government is not responsible for something that somebody had promised. They will promise the earth and the moon and the stars to everybody, but the central government can't go around doing all of that. So if they are promising free electricity, then it is their responsibility to do it, and they have to budget it accordingly. So I don't think the central government is at fault here.
Mr. Sharma, quickly.